What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. My name is Dallin Anderson. Today, we are going to be talking about Dogecoin going into 2024. Before we get started though, you guys, please do me a little favor and hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber to this channel already. And please share these videos with your friends if you are enjoying them. So without further ado, we'll get straight into the Dogecoin analysis. So you guys, we're gonna learn a little bit about ABC corrections in today's video. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about how ABC corrections can be two different types of ABC correction. You can either get the ABC zigzag correction, like we do have here on Dogecoin, where prices did do 5 waves up here. Then you guys can see very clearly an A, B, C correction. This is an ABC zigzag correction. So you can actually type here, if you like, zigzag correction, ABC zigzag correction, and the difference between an ABC zigzag correction and expanded flat. An expanded flat actually looks more like this, where you get your A wave down here, your B wave actually goes up above, and then your C wave comes down like this. So that's what an expanded flat looks like. Instead of the B wave being down low, like we had it drawn before, that B wave is way up above here. And then it goes down. So this is what a zigzag correction looks like right here. A, B, the B doesn't go up very high, and the A wave goes down pretty low. The B wave comes up, and then you get the C wave, where the expanded flat, actually the B wave goes way up here. The A wave is actually higher, and the C wave can still go really pretty low, but the C wave basically comes after the B wave goes up above. So let's look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is an expanded flat ABC correction. You can see we have our A wave down. And by the way, this here is April of 2021 at the very top. And if you go over here on Dogecoin, you can see that May of 2021 was the top of Dogecoin. So they topped at very similar places in their cycle, almost the same point. So you get our A wave down here. The reason why that's important is because of the fact that the A wave starts around May or April. That's how you know that this is an ABC correction on Dogecoin and an expanded flat on Bitcoin, because the corrections both started around the same point in time. So because of the fact that both corrections started around the same point in time, it tells you that the beginning of that Elliott wave starts at that same point in time. So you can see if I hover my mouse over Bitcoin, you'll actually see that the Elliott wave pattern appears as A, B, and C, but you can see at the top there's a zero wave. So that zero wave is where the correction starts. So where does the correction start? Well, it starts around April with Bitcoin. It starts around May with Dogecoin, but we both know that that zero wave is at the peak point of the cycle on both of these markets. We know that on both of these markets, that zero wave is the top. And that zero wave is the beginning of this expanded flat correction on Bitcoin, where the B wave went slightly above here, but it's still basically the top. And with Dogecoin, you can see the B wave did not go back up above here. So yeah, visually the difference between an expanded flat or a zigzag is pretty simple. A zigzag literally looks like a zigzag. I mean, the name of it is very fitting. And an expanded flat literally looks like an expanded flat pattern. You can see the B wave expands out up above and then comes back down pretty close to where wave A was, so it looks like that. So that's the two different shapes of Elliott wave corrections. Now, the reason why all of this is important with Bitcoin, with Dogecoin, is because of the fact that knowing where this correction ends is the most lucrative thing you could ever learn inside of a market. The reason that we look for these corrections is because the bottom of wave C is the point of maximum financial opportunity. So buying all of that fear, ABC corrections, is a lot of fear. It's a lot of sellers. It's a lot of panic selling. It creates a complete market cycle. And that C wave is the bottom of that cycle, even though you're not trying to call an exact bottom, which we will talk about in just a second. That C wave is pretty close or at the bottom. You might get it right, but you're looking for that point of maximum financial opportunity. And that happens after an ABC correction. And that happens after an expanded flat ABC correction as well. There's not a difference in the opportunity. There's only a difference in the shape of the pattern. So cycling between these two, this is an ABC expanded flat correction on Bitcoin, and this is an ABC zigzag correction on Dogecoin. So let's talk about Dogecoin price a little bit here and what could happen. I don't want to tell you exactly what's going to happen over the next week or month or two. Generally, I'm leaning very bullish, but I do want to talk a lot about the big picture here today, because the big picture is actually really what we focus on in these videos. And the reason for that is because it's easy, it's simple. You could teach it to a child. If you zoom out and look at the chart, things are easier to see. It's like being in an airplane and ascending way up on an airplane till you're at that highest point where all of a sudden you're up in this airplane, right? Up here in the sky. Let's pretend that this is a really good drawing of an airplane. Here, you're up in this airplane, okay? Up in the sky, and you've ascended to this really high point in the sky with this airplane, and you're flying along, flying along in your airplane, and you can see everything from the top down, right? That's the same as zooming out on your chart. You're like an airplane ascending up into the sky where you can see down, an eagle eyes view. So that's why we focus on the bigger time frames here. It's simple. You could teach it to a child, and that's also what other people do that make money in these markets. They focus on that big picture, and that's what they generally care about, is that big picture. So yeah, let's see here. We already drew the ABC correction. You can see a market cycle. We don't even have to talk about the market cycle. So yeah, you can see the market cycle really clearly, but what a lot of people are wondering about is volume. What about volume, right? Well, volume is down here at the bottom of the chart. Price is up here at the top. You can see these green and red candlesticks. That is how we represent price over time. These bars on the bottom of the chart, that's volume. So that indicates trading volume over time. Now, when you look at this, you think, oh, volume is so low. Yes and no. Volume is low relative to wave 3 in the cycle, because you can see right here, when we started that new market cycle before Doge went to 75 cents, you can see that there was a huge spike in volume. So volume right here is pretty low relative to the last raging bull market, yeah. But volume is still high. If you hover your mouse over here, you can see 20 billion Doge was traded at that price. You can see here down at the bottom that the volume was really high. 21 billion Dogecoin, 10 billion volume spike right there. That is super, super high volume, very high volume. And that is a representation of institutions that are showing interest at these levels. The same thing happened back over here. 47 billion Doge were traded. So yeah, in relative to its peak, in the last raging bull market, yeah, volume is lower than it was back there, but volume is still so much higher than it's ever been before. Back here, it was virtually nothing. And over here, it's so significantly higher. The other thing about volume that's kind of counterintuitive for your new investor is actually that downward movement. In other words, as price goes down and volume goes down, it's actually bullish. So price and volume going down, as counterintuitive as it would sound, is bullish. That's a bullish thing. That's bullish when that happens. So if you ever want to learn more about how volume works, you guys can join the Discord group in the description box below. We do post free charts in there, free stuff about trading patterns and their statistical probabilities, as well as how to use volume, how to trade and invest in volume. Descending price and descending volume is declining, I should say, is actually bullish. It leads to a bullish move. It leads to a bullish breakout. Now, that is exactly what we see here on Dogecoin. So don't let the volume deceive you. The big players don't want you to think it's about to take off, right? Otherwise, they would have a huge volume spike right here. If they weren't trying to hide their interest, they would have a huge volume spike right here. And you can see that they actually are accumulating over time. They're buying over time. Here on Dogecoin, declining price and declining volume is bullish. So the other thing I want to mention with volume is in the beginning of a bull market, when a new bull market starts, you generally will see price and volume increase together. So in a bear market, descending price and declining price and volume is bullish. I mean, yeah, it leads to a bullish move. In a bullish market, you want to see increasing price and increasing volume. Okay? And so, in order to do that, you guys, we can look here and see other exchanges. Dogecoin is not only traded on Binance, where we're looking. It's also traded on Poloniex. It's traded on KuCoin. It's traded on a lot of different exchanges, you guys. And because of that, you can look at the volume on different exchanges, and it's going to show slightly different things in the chart. It's going to show differences in the chart. So let's go ahead and look here, you guys, because it's super, super simple. If you look at Dogecoin versus the US dollar here on Poloniex, now you can see what I'm talking about. The beginning of a bull market, we're starting to see price increase, and look at all this interest. Look at all this Doge being traded down at these levels where the whole bear market, nobody cared. So that's an early sign, or potential early sign, that over here on Poloniex, the whales are not hiding it as good as they are on Binance. It's showing a lot of bullish movement here, potential bullish movement with Dogecoin. So to review, there's expanded flat and zigzag corrections. Dogecoin completed a zigzag correction. Bitcoin completed an expanded flat and started rising. Dogecoin has not started rising yet very much. It will follow shortly behind Bitcoin in my personal and professional opinion. But in the current situation that we're in right now, we want to see price continue to increase with volume, especially across multiple exchanges. So over the next few months, if we see an increase in value and an increase in volume, that would really signal the beginning and confirm the beginning of a big picture bullish market for Dogecoin, right? And yes, it's a meme coin, you guys. The name of it's Dogecoin. But the market really doesn't care. The market moves based upon volume, based upon human emotion. And if something is completely a scam, it's still going to increase in value based on demand, right? I don't think Dogecoin's a scam. I actually believe in the fundamentals of this project. Super low fees. You can do a lot of transactions. It's actually a pretty good chain. Study it. Do your own research. But at the same time, don't allow the fact that it is a meme coin. And yet, at the same time, don't allow the fact that it is a meme coin to steer you away. Don't let its name steer you away from potential opportunity here with Dogecoin. And as far as the short term goes, I'm not going to try to predict the short term at all. I will play it. Here's how I'm playing it. Here's how I would look at this market. If prices came down here to this major level, let's say 3 cents again, or even 5 cents, it would be the shortest wick ever. It just drops down there, and then within like a week or two, it would already be back up above even the price it's at right now. So if there was another drop, it would probably be following the Bitcoin 2015 fractal, where prices came down, it dropped, it bounced up, came over, bounced up, and then it dropped again and then went to $500 and started a bull market. That's what happened to Bitcoin back in 2015. And very, 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 very similar structure that we are seeing here on Dogecoin. I'm not saying that Dogecoin will drop, but it could. So here on Bitstamp, you can see Bitcoin came down, bounced up, went sideways, came down, and then broke out right here. Okay? This is 2015 on Bitcoin. This pattern that led into a new bull market after this zigzag ABC correction that you can see, this sideways accumulation and then breakout is so similar to Dogecoin. Okay? So you can see here that we also have on Dogecoin that ABC correction down. Then we're getting that same sideways accumulation here, right? The same exact sideways accumulation here as what happened on Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin on Bitstamp did not drop lower here. It hit support, bounced up, and started a new bull market, which was really big. And Dogecoin actually, I think, will do the same thing. The only alternative that I have is that it drops a little bit lower like this. And that's only if some type of black swan event occurs. Let's say that there's some black swan event on the news, just hypothetically, okay? Kind of like COVID, kind of like the Bitfinex hack on Bitcoin back in 2015 or 2016, just some type of black swan event, then I could see Dogecoin making a slightly lower low. So if we go to Bitfinex and Bitcoin, this is 2015 right here again, same point in the chart, you can see that on Bitfinex, it made a slightly lower low. That's because of a black swan event. It didn't do that on every exchange, but it did on Bitfinex. I could see that happening here with Dogecoin if there's a black swan event, but you can see how quickly Bitcoin just went whoop, whoop, right up out of that. So if that happens again, you guys, I do think that Dogecoin will come right up out of it. If there isn't a black swan event, then I think what it will do is what we were looking at with the Bitstamp Bitcoin prices in 2015, which is just that it came back and found support and then just boom, started its new bull market right away without having to scare everybody out again. So those are my two options in the short term. In the big picture, I do think that it will do what Bitcoin did after 2015, which is after we did this correction in 2014, then went sideways in 2015, we broke out in 2016, and then we had one of the biggest bull markets in Bitcoin history in 2017. I think Dogecoin could do the same thing. We have a zigzag correction just like 2014 crash on Bitcoin. We have the sideways accumulation just like 2015 on Bitcoin. What we're watching for is that 2016 style breakout and push up here in Dogecoin. The chart looks like it will. I can tell you downside risk is quite low and upside risk is quite high. Be mindful of the opportunity here. And I know actually that if you play these coins, you will be rewarded for it. So yeah, you guys, that's my view on Dogecoin and a little bit about how it compares to Bitcoin, a little bit about zigzag corrections and what I expect coming in Dogecoin through 2024 and beyond. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's little video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and it helped prepare you for the bull market coming soon. Please, like I said at the start of this video, do me a favor and share these videos with your friends and hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already so you can see more content just like this. And I hope to see you guys in future videos. As always, stay profitable out there.